Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Chubbs Reviews, where I bring you a review every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today we are talking about Doom Patrol, a show I found on HBO Max. It is a DC show. It originated on the DC Universe app or whatever. And it's now an HBO show. It's got 2 seasons right now. I'm reviewing season 1 because I just finished it a couple days ago. And I just started watching season 2. Season 1 contains 15 episodes, and Doom Patrol is about a superhero group of misfits. It's kind of like Umbrella Academy to me, but extremely wacky and weird and a little bit, or a lot more like rated R. It's not like more serious, it's just more rated R. There's a lot of fucks and shits and like queef jokes and just like, it's not like super silly, but at the same time it is. This show isn't crazy, and I definitely do recommend the first episode to everybody. And if you like the first episode, keep watching it. But it's a hard recommend because it is so out there. It's very out there and weird. Like, okay, for example, we got our characters here. This show is like extremely character driven. We got Robot Man, played by Brendan Fraser. Yes, the star of Mummy and Monkey Bone. You know, the fucking athlete. Brendan Fraser plays Robot Man, which really is just a robot. I mean, not at first. You get everyone's backstory, and like this show has the best first episode and first and second episode. They kind of go together. But like the best pilot ever, it introduces every character and their backstory perfectly. So I'm telling you, if you have HBO Max, watch the first episode of Doom Patrol. It gets a little out there at some points, but it's actually very entertaining. Like when I say it's out, like it goes out there a little bit, it's actually done in a very entertaining way. Um, I believe like I don't know. It is just really crazy. We got Robot Man, which is just a brain trapped inside of a robot. Not trapped, but he was in a really terrible accident, and and then basically had this guy only saved his brain and put him in a robot, and that's that. So we got him being going out there. We got Rita Farr, which is this actress lady from the 50s, who like fell in some water and got this toxin inside of her and made her like, imagine the Elastigirl, but if Elastigirl couldn't like stretch her arms out really wide and instead became a giant blob, like her whole body just melted, and she's like, she still has her eyes and her mouth, but like, yeah. So very weird, very gross, even looking very interesting. But she was this famous actress, and she has a lot of insecurities about this turning into a blob thing, and it even turning into a blob, like when shit's like her face starts to melt, it's mainly because like she's losing confidence or whatever. So I really actually enjoy Rita Farr's character. Elastigirl, I think is her name. I don't know. I really enjoy Robot Man as well. Brendan Fraser's Robot Man. He's got this whole daughter thing going on about how he was a terrible father and just a terrible person. Like I said, Brendan Fraser's voice acting in this is just great. Um, and then we got, let's not forget, Crazy Jane. Jane is probably my favorite character because she's the funniest. She's the most millennial humor type. Like at one point, she's like, "I'm gonna kill myself" when she's in a car, and she actually tries to jump out the window and kill herself. Like it's just funny, bro. But Jane's thing is that she has 64 different personalities. She got like not bipolar, but personality disorder. Where she's got 64 different ones where she just literally snaps into different people, like fucking the dude from Split. But she also has superpowers. So she has 64 different superpowers inside each personality. Not each personality, but each personality has a different superpower. And they're their own personality, their own person. Like, the way they explore Jane's mental mind and, like, everything is just so cool. At one point, like, not to spoil too much, but they even go inside of her mind, and it's called the Underground. And you see all of her personalities and the way they look inside of her mind. And some of them look like her, some of them don't. It's just very interesting, like I said, and you really come to know all the different personalities, like Hammerhead and uh, Baby Girl. Yeah, Baby Girl, I think, is like the little kid one. Dolly, just all types of ones. Hammerhead is my favorite. She's just out. She's just edgy as fuck. And then there's Jane herself. We also got Negative Man, which Negative Man's story is very sad, very well put out there. He was a military Air Force guy, crashed, and got this like alien negative energy inside of him. He's basically like, every time it's like its own personality, its own person. So every time this negative energy leaves his body, he just becomes limp and blacks out. And when he does that, the negative energy like will send him into, like, sometimes give him like, I don't know, they'll put him in some dream sequences like with his old wife or his old male lover. Yeah, they got some gay stuff going on here, but it's like done really well, and like it's very interesting, and they have a few good episodes about, like, acceptance. There's a lot of good messages in here, but also very fucked up. things. Sometimes there was one episode where it went a little too far, a little too preachy. It was called Danny Patrol, which was about this genderqueer street. That it was sentient street, like the street itself talks to you, and it can teleport around the world, and it doesn't disrupt the area it teleports to. Yeah, it's very out there. Like I said, there's a guy that comes along later called the Beard Hunter, and the Beard Hunter can eat people's beard hair. Like he is obsessed with beard hair. Like this shit right here, he would be looking at my beard and like licking his lips, and he eats that shit, and then he can track you anywhere in the world. And his quote, "Don't underestimate the Beard Hunter." He actually has a really cool scene against Cyborg. Cyborg is also in the show. This is Doom Patrol. Is like Cyborg is not supposed to be part of the Doom Patrol. I'm not a huge comic book Doom Patrol person, knowledgeable, but Cyborg is part of the Teen Titans. So they put him on the show for whatever reason, and he fits perfectly as another misfit, as a guy who's trying to fight, being too cyborg or becoming too robotic or too not human anymore, and dealing with trust issues with like his overbearing father. Like imagine your father is the football coach that wants to basically live through you to become a football player star, but instead it's like a superhero and he needs to join the Justice League, and they're constantly making references to him being in the Justice League, or he should be someday. So it's kind of cool to set up this really young version of Cyborg going through drama and life and trust issues. And I don't know, he kind of his costume, his outfit definitely doesn't look as good as like the Justice League Cyborg. It kind of looks like a Halloween costume, but you get over it. He looks fine. The actor is like actually solid. The character itself is really well written. Some lines are a little corny to me when they're like fighting back and like saying, we'll stand together against you. But it's a superhero show. I don't say movie. At the same time, it's not. It's very character driven. It's very drama heavy, but it's actually pretty good drama. It's very wacky, and it knows it's wacky. I forgot talk about the villain, which I think is played by Alan Tudyk or whatever. The villain is Mr. Nobody, and this guy is like all of his body is completely cut apart, like he has half his face or whatever. But anyway, this guy is like he breaks the fourth wall, and he's the narrator of the show. It is the most interesting concept and villain I've ever seen. It's entertaining. It's really weird. He literally narrates and tells the audience that they're watching a show on the DC Universe app, and he'll like make fun of Redditors. And sometimes it sounds corny or like a little they're trying to be edgy, but it's actually acted and played very well. And I would say Mr. Nobody's the perfect type of overtop villain. He even has a really nice like villain laugh. Mr. Nobody, played by Alan Tudyk, is great, and it's. I hope he's in season 2 as well. I don't know, but like it was one of the better characters. He just wasn't in the show enough. I'll say a few complaints I have about the show is the villain's not in there enough, but when he is, he's really entertaining and good, and he like controls the show, and it's just very interesting. The show has 15 episodes in this first season. There's like 1 or 2 episodes that kind of meander. They have a bunch of like side missions to go do, but those side missions usually lead to really good character development. So like I kind of like some of the side things they do. Like I said, they go in Jane's brain at one point, or head, or not they, but Robot Man does, and Robot Man's dynamic with Crazy Jane about how he wants to be her father figure, and she like realizes that, and she's like, "Fuck off." And Robot Man's constantly saying what the audience is saying. He's like always like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" At one point, man, there's a rat that you see this rat's perspective of its parents getting ran over by Robot Man driving, and then it wants revenge, so it like goes inside of his body and creates this whole mess, and it's just like super interesting shit like that. Not interesting, it's just entertaining. I would say shit about like the powers and the mental stability of everyone and their past when we get all these flashbacks is very interesting. But all the wacky shit that's kind of funny or goofy is very entertaining. So it's a very good mixture of both interesting and emotional shit mixed with entertaining, and not as many action scenes as I hoped, but like the 1 or 2 action scenes that you get, especially like episode 3 or 4 with the puppets. I don't know if you watch the show. That action scene with Cliff or Robot Man is just awesome. But don't expect too many action scenes, especially towards the end. I was really hoping for like a big ass final battle. And no, you don't really get that, but you do get a really satisfying conclusion. Just don't expect a fight scene. And like I said, the show is very aware of itself. It breaks the fourth wall. Imagine if like Deadpool was an evil villain, and it's not really Deadpool, but like I don't know, just a guy that breaks the fourth wall. He's crazy, and like I said, they also have the Chief. The whole goal of this first season. I know I'm 10 minutes into the video. I'm just not talking about the goal of the first season. is to find their captain, their chief, their leader, the guy that made them all the way they are. Put Robot Man's brain in a robot, kept Rita Farr around, and tries to understand all of Jane's personality. This guy is named Niles, I think. Yeah, the chief. From episode 1 to 15, their goal is to find this man. And towards the end of the season, they actually put him in way more than he thought he would. He's not just a MacGuffin to go find. He's actually a developed character by the end, and it turns out to be something different than what you even thought he would be. I think every character had an arc, a fantastic arc. They started somewhere and ended somewhere completely different, and they still got more improving to do. I like that. It's not like they're gonna revert back to anything in the last season because they haven't solved all their problems. Obviously, they even fucking got new problems by the end of the season, but it's still satisfying. It's still a conclusion. It's still arcs, and I like when the show does flashbacks. It's one of the few shows that it's I constantly want to see more of these people's past and how they dealt with their powers, or when they first noticed their powers, or how they dealt with the people around them. It's just a very character-driven show. It's entertaining. It's a no show I've ever seen before. If you're into things that are different, if you're into things that are unique, that are still good, I would say it's still got quality, even though it's unique. It's not trying too hard to be something. It's not like DC's Titans. This is definitely a DC show. It's called DC Doom Patrol. It's not like Titans. If you ever tried to watch Titans, it's way better than that. It's not taking itself too seriously. It knows what it is. I would definitely give Doom Patrol a try if you gave fucking Titans a try. Anyway, my first season review for this, my final verdict, is probably gonna be, it's like an 8.5, 9 out of 10, or maybe an 8 out of 10. I don't really know. I don't think anyone even watches this far in the video, so fuck the rating. But it's just really good. It's just kind of hard to recommend. It meanders a little bit. It's got a lot of slow points sometimes. But sometimes I really enjoyed the slow points. It really knows it wants to take its time and build these characters up. It's just the way the show is, even to a fault at some points. But anyway, everyone's very interested. I'm definitely looking forward to reviewing Season 2. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and if you will give this show a try. See you next video. Peace out.